It's Friday, everyone. What do we do on Fridays here at the Hint Hive? That's right, we smash the patriarchy. Hello, my fierce earth-loving queens. Welcome back to the Hint Hive, Amplifying Women's Voices, the place where we dismantle the patriarchy, heal ourselves, and build a future that doesn't burn us alive. I'm your host, Kelly Hint, your resident psychotherapist, feminist life coach, and queen bee of this hive. And today, we are talking about something big, something powerful, something that proves women are not just surviving the systems that hurt us. We are rewriting them. Today's topic is how women are driving the sustainability movement. Because let me be very clear, sustainability is not a trend. It's a movement, a mindset, and a demand for justice. It's not a green aesthetic. It's not just reusable straws and cute mason jars, although it can be part of it. Sustainability is resistance. Sustainability is healing. Sustainability is feminist. Because this is about legacy. This is about what kind of world we are leaving for the next generation of girls who deserve clean air, safe water, and communities that actually care. Before we jump in, I just want to remind those of you who are listening to the audio-only version of this podcast, if you want to see the new video version, head on over to my new YouTube podcast channel, at The Hint Hive, all one word. And for those who are watching this podcast, I do not want to hear a damn thing about how I look today. It is freaking cold here in New York, and I've been in and out a million times to take care of my chickens and collect their eggs before they freeze. And speaking of farm fresh eggs, let's talk sustainability. For those who have been following this podcast since the beginning, this topic may seem vaguely familiar to you, because after doing a little bit of research on my top episodes, I discovered an overwhelming number of downloads for my episode on Ecofeminism, the intersection of environmentalism and women's rights. Not gonna lie, that actually took me a little off guard. I mean, I know how much I love nature and reducing my negative impact on the environment, but I thought maybe I was just a little over the top and not quite the majority. I have been continuously surprised at how many people continue to listen to that episode. So I figured I would do an episode that complemented that one, and here we are. So, why are women leading the green revolution? Here's the truth that they don't tell you. Globally, women make up nearly 70% of the world's poor, yet we are responsible for over 80% of household consumption decisions. That means women hold massive economic power, and when women choose sustainability, industries actually shift. Women are also disproportionately impacted by climate change through food insecurity, displacement, health risks, and economic instability. So when we lead, it comes from lived experience and deep empathy. Studies from the United Nations show that women are more likely than men to recycle, conserve energy, reduce waste, and support environmental policies. Women-led governments pass more aggressive climate legislation. Companies with women in leadership are more likely to invest in sustainable business practices. This is not coincidence. This is care-based leadership. And I think that's kind of cool. This is also trauma-informed, future-focused, community-centered power. Because women do not just want profit. We want a livable world. So let's talk about the eco-feminist connection. Because ecofeminism teaches us something radical. The same systems that exploit the earth also exploit women, also exploit marginalized communities, and anyone who doesn't benefit from capitalism and patriarchy. Think about it. Extract, consume, discard, repeat. That is how patriarchy treats both the planet and women. And before I hear all of the outrage, I'm not saying all men. I will not entertain arguments about that. I'm talking about patriarchy, the patriarchal system. Feel free to listen to my 8 million other episodes if you want a deeper dive into the patriarchy. Anyway, moving on. Ecofeminism calls us to restore balance, to choose care over control, connection over domination, and regeneration over destruction. So when women choose sustainability, we are not just protecting the environment, we are breaking cycles of harm and modeling a new way forward. So let's talk about where women are leading. The first place is in sustainable business. Women are creating sustainable businesses. And I could not be more excited about that because, like I said, I'm a little bit of a nature nerd. Women-owned businesses are more likely to adopt eco-friendly packaging, ethical sourcing, carbon reduction strategies, and transparent supply chains. When I was selling a bit more through my aromatherapy business, I was always using eco-friendly packaging. I was constantly reusing. I had a candle refill program so that people could reuse their candle vessels instead of constantly throwing out, a really pretty candle. I would refill it. Just a couple of the ways that I was thinking outside the box to, again, lessen my negative impact on the climate. Women are also leading in climate activism, from indigenous land defenders to famous young women. We all know Greta, right? I've talked about her in my other episode. Women are at the front lines of environmental justice. They're organizing communities. They're demanding systemic change. I'm telling you, I think it is hysterical when I see the amount of conservative people that scream about these young women who are making waves in their communities because they're looking for sustainability. They're trying to save the earth, right? And they're called loony liberals and tree huggers and all this other stuff. I know, because loving our planet is such a rotten thing, isn't it? Anyway, let's talk about where else women are leading. Food and agriculture. They are participating in food and agriculture production. Women grow over 50% of the world's food, especially in developing nations. When women are given resources, communities thrive and ecosystems recover. Do any of you remember during COVID when the world was shut down, we had to stay inside? Do you remember some of the aerial photography that was shown, the videos that were shown? Our oceans were recovering, our forests were recovering, all of the damage that we had done as human beings. Nature was recovering. I know I'm not the only person that wishes at times that we could kind of go back just for a minute and have that sense of peace and community and hope that maybe the world could change. I mean, we're kind of going in the opposite direction right now, depending on when you are listening to this podcast, but hopefully someday someone will be listening to this and they will say, oh, I'm so glad that the world changed since the year 2026. Another area where women are leading is fashion and consumer reform. This is something that I find absolutely fascinating. They are actively engaging in reform around their fashion choices and their consuming. They are leading the slow fashion movement. If you haven't heard of this, I'm absolutely loving this. They are thrifting, swapping, repairing, and refusing fast fashion's toxic cycle. And let me tell you, this is leadership. This is power. And this is absolute legacy. And I am here for it. You know, in my other episode on ecofeminism, I don't want to repeat everything. I'm trying to take a different angle on this. But I had talked about how some of the things that I'm doing, I am a composting freak. If it can be composted, I will compost it because for some reason I feel like throwing food out, throwing dead plants out, I it hurts my heart. Yes, that may sound weird to some of you, but I'm a nature weirdo. I love nature. I love the earth. And so I feel like when I compost, I take things that some other people just throw in the garbage, and instead I reuse it and turn it into something wonderful, and I give back to the earth. All of the composting that I've been doing these last couple of years, I can repot my own plants. I can have rich, rich soil for a wonderful garden. And the chicken poop from my chickens goes into the compost. And let me tell you, I can grow some of the most amazing plants. And that's actually one of the reasons why I got chickens in the first place. I wanted to contribute to nature, to give back to the earth, but also to rely just a little bit less on corporate America, on corporate farming. So these are just a couple of steps that I've taken. I like to grow my own herbs. I I love having my chickens. Not only do they give me wonderful, healthy, organically fed farm fresh eggs, they're also a source of joy for me. And also as a therapist, I'm really into animal assisted therapy. And there is something about like in the spring and summer, if I'm having a bad day, I can literally just go out and I can sit in the yard, and all of a sudden I have a flock of hens climbing all over me, cuddling with me, and I pet them. And science has proven that when you stroke an animal very gently, you are reducing cortisol levels both in your body and the animal's body. So it is such a cyclical kind of thing for me. All of this give and take, I love it. So let's talk about some actionable steps that you can take. And I want you to keep in mind, you do not need to be perfect. You need to be intentional. That is the key word here. Intentional about your choices, your habits, your values, and the legacy that you are building. This is not about guilt or shame at all. It is about awareness, courage, and progress. Every single small conscious decision that you make adds up to real change. And when you choose with purpose, you become part of a movement far greater than yourself. And that right there can feed your sense of spirituality also, because spirituality is connection to something outside of yourself. So when you connect with a movement bigger than yourself, you are feeding your spirituality right there. So let's talk about how to live your sustainability era. The first thing is to vote with your dollars. Support women-owned, ethical, eco-conscious brands by researching company values, looking for fair labor, and sustainability certifications, and intentionally choosing businesses that reinvest in people and the planet. Every single purchase is a vote for the kind of world that you want to live in. And I know right now there are a lot of people doing like Amazon boycotts and Target boycotts, and those are largely because of political reasons. Everything that's going on, like with the Epstein files, for example. There are more reasons than just political to vote with your dollars. So just keep that in mind, because again, any woman listening to this podcast, you know that I am all about supporting women and lifting up other women and empowering other women. So let's support one another. Look for those women-owned businesses. In the next step that you can take, audit your consumption. Ask yourself, do I need this? Who made it? Where will it end up? And then go deeper. Start to notice patterns in your spending. Pause before impulse buys. Unsubscribe from marketing that pressures you to consume. And choose quality over quantity so that your money aligns with your values. Again, this is all about intention. Be intentional about your spending. And then the next step you can take is to normalize repair over replacement. Fix, reuse, repurpose, learn basic mending, support local repair shops, host clothing or tool swaps, and see broken items as opportunities to extend their life instead of sending them to landfills. Get creative. However you can repurpose, do it. Try it. It doesn't hurt to try. Because this shift, it saves money, it reduces waste, and reclaims skills that our communities once valued. I will admit, this is an area where I need to do better myself. And so I'm trying. I do an awful lot of reusing, but I can tell you I'm not great with amending. I can actually tell you that if my husband gets a hole in something, he can go and sew it, and I can't. I don't remember how to sew. I learned in a home ec class in 7th grade, and it was a very brief period of time, so I need to sharpen up those skills myself. Because I don't want to be one of these people contributing to throwaway culture, you know? I want to do better myself. But again, this is not about perfection. So please don't be too hard on yourself if this is something that you can't master, because there are all these other things that we're talking about that you can do instead. Another thing that you can do, talk about climate anxiety, because your fear means that you care. I work with women who talk about this in their sessions with me. A lot of times we have to work on how to reduce that anxiety, but part of that is to learn sustainable practices that you can engage in. So if you do have climate anxiety, talk about it with someone. Either get a therapist or a coach who is comfortable talking about this. They should all be. I don't know if there are any eco-therapist specialists out there, but hey, call me. Call me if you're looking for some help there. Because again, remember, like I said, your fear means that you care. So channel it into action by naming what you're feeling, by connecting with others who share your concerns, by learning about solutions instead of doom scrolling, and taking small steps that restore your sense of agency. Because when we speak about climate grief and fear openly, we turn isolation into collective strength. And another awesome thing that you can do is to join local movements. Whether it's community gardens, recycling initiatives, mutual aid, sustainability is collective. Show up to town halls. Volunteer with environmental justice groups. Support neighborhood cleanups. And build relationships with people who care about the same future that you do. Because change grows faster when we grow it together. And of course, another very important, actionable step is to use your voice. Share resources, have conversations, and advocate for policies that protect people and the planet. Speak up in your community. Write to your elected officials. Engage in social media campaigns for environmental justice. Educate others about sustainable practices. You will be inspiring collective action. Your voice amplifies change and can turn ideas into movements. Okay, time for the affirmation of the week. Ladies, repeat after me. I did not wake up today to be freaking average. That's right. Every single one of you listening, you did not wake up today to be average. And let me tell you something, my fellow queens, choosing sustainability is not average. Caring about the future is not average. Refusing to destroy yourself, your community, and this planet for profit? That, my queens, is revolutionary. You are here to disrupt. You are here to heal. And you are here to lead. As we wrap up this episode, remember that sustainability is more than actions. It is a mindset. Every choice that you make, no matter how small, contributes to a future where women lead, communities thrive, and the planet heals. Let your awareness, your courage, and your care ripple outward and inspire others to do the same. And as always, if this episode lit a fire in you, share it with another queen who needs to remember her power in this world. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and join our Hive community, because this movement grows when we grow together. Until next time, stay bold, stay conscious, and keep changing the world one powerful choice at a time.